How's it going, everybody? Now, you might see that I'm not really in my room with my PC and RGB in the background. Chirp going on there. So I'm outside for a bit. The reason being is that we currently have load shedding. If you guys don't know what that is, it's we don't have power. So we're without power for a few hours. So that's the reason why I'm outside for a bit. Kind of a change of scenery. So hopefully the camera looks good, the microphone sounds good. It's something I don't really shoot outside, so it's an entirely new thing for me, but hopefully it's pretty decent. Otherwise, I do apologize for that. But now getting into our tech news video and starting off with some AMD news. Now, we do know that the upcoming Ryzen 3000 series are going to be quite beastly CPUs. But how beastly exactly? Now, we have been getting some rumors here and there, but the newest and the biggest one so far is from Adore TV, where they got some leaked information about the upcoming Ryzen 3 CPUs, and it's quite hectic. But now all of this is still only leaked rumors, so take it with a grain of salt because it is quite a bit out there. But if it's true, then that's going to be awesome. So getting into these new CPUs, we do have the Ryzen 3 family with the Ryzen 3 3300, 3300X and the 3300G, all of them having 6 cores and 12 threads, having a base clock from 3 GHz to 3.5, and then a boost from 3.8 to 4.3 GHz. Pricing wise, they're starting at $99 and goes up to $129. So straight out of the gate there, we're already seeing really good performance, well, specs wise, for the price. 6 cores, 12 threads for a $99 CPU. That's not too bad. But now moving on to the Ryzen 5 CPUs, we have the Ryzen 5 3600, the 3600X and the 3600G. All of them having 8 cores and 12 threads. For the boost clocks, they're starting at 3.2 GHz for the 3600G and going up to 4 GHz for the 3600X. But boost clocks goes from 4 GHz to 4.8 GHz. And pricing wise, we're starting at $178 and going up to $199. So here also we can see some really good specs. I'm especially looking forward to seeing that 3600G because that's an APU, and having 8 cores and 16 threads in an APU, so still a GPU and CPU in one. That is going to be quite nice to see, and especially at $199. So moving on to the Ryzen 7, we have the Ryzen 7 3700 and 3700X. Both of them having 12 cores and 24 threads. Now boost clocks wise, they start at 3.8 GHz and goes up to 4.2 GHz. And for boost clocks, we get a 4.6 for the 3700 and 5 GHz for the 3700X. Pricing wise, they start at $299 and goes up to $329. And then moving on to the new one on the block. In the first generation, we did have the 1800X, but now we're getting the Ryzen 9 3800X and 3850X, both having 16 cores and 32 threads. So they start at 3.9 GHz and goes up to 4.3 GHz, and boost clocks wise, it starts at 4.7 and goes to 5.1 GHz. So pricing wise, $449 or $499. So 16 cores, 32 threads, having a base clock of 4.3 GHz and a boost clock of 5.1 GHz. That is crazy. So again, we'll have to wait and see if this leaked information is actually legit. Currently, we do believe they're going to announce it at CES 2019, which is early next year, so not too long to wait for most of these CPUs, not all of them, for most of them. But if all of this information is true, then wow, AMD, you really got something right, and Intel really has to be worried. Birds everywhere. Now, moving on to some more AMD news, but on the GPU side, we do know that their current Polaris GPU, it's good, but it's more for the mainstream kind of mid-range GPUs. It doesn't really go up against the higher end of Nvidia, and that is the reason why Nvidia can actually ask anything they want for their high-end GPUs. Vega not really included. Nobody's buying Vegas anymore. So now we do have their new Navi being released in 2019, which is running on the 7nm process as well. And so far it does sound to actually perform quite well. Now, a statement from AMD CEO Lisa Su says that their new GPUs will be competitive in the high-end graphics market, and that they are making high-performance quality products and building a long-term foundation. So hopefully Lisa Su is right and they'll actually be able to produce high-quality, high-end GPUs. Now, we still have to kind of wait for any more specs and information about these new GPUs, but it would be nice if AMD could get into the higher end gaming market. They made a ton of money off the cryptocurrency boom, so hopefully they can push all of that money into R&D and actually develop a really good GPU. Now, you might also be thinking, what about the RTX, the ray tracing new feature that Nvidia has in their GPUs? Will AMD as well? So far, they haven't really confirmed that they're focusing directly on that, but they did say that it is a very important feature and a new technology that they want to get into, but it will take some time for the market to actually catch up to that as well. And then today, EA and DICE has released a new update for Battlefield 5 Tides of War Chapter 1. So this update actually improves RTX performance as much as 50%, which you only got around 60 FPS in 1080p with a 2080 Ti, which again is like a $1,300 GPU. You can only play 1080p. That is quite shameful. But now after these updates, they have increased the performance and you will actually be able to play at much higher resolution at higher frame rates. So with the RTX 2080 Ti, users will be able to play at over 60 FPS at 1440p with a DXR ray tracing set on Ultra. For a 2080, users will be able to play the same 60 FPS, 1440p on medium ray tracing, and then for the 2070, users will be able to play at 60 FPS and 1080p with medium ray tracing enabled. That doesn't sound too bad, especially with the 2070. Previous 2070 was kind of a useless card for ray tracing. So hopefully this will improve and make it actually a viable RTX card. Now, if you guys do remember, in one of our previous tech news videos, we talked about Apple and Microsoft battling out to become the world's most valuable company. Currently, Apple is just up there constantly, but we are seeing that Microsoft actually took them pause for a tiny while, but then fell back down again. But now there's actually a third company battling out for the first spot. And that company is Amazon, which we all know and probably use. So this is after Trump and the Chinese president called a ceasefire on the escalating tariffs, which actually helped out the market quite a lot, especially the technology market, where we saw Amazon opening up over $80 a share, or 5%. This ceasefire actually helped Amazon take the first spot over Apple and Microsoft, although just for a while. After a day, Apple was again up there. But now Amazon is in the second lead above Microsoft. So after a Monday, we saw that in the lead, of course, was Apple with a market cap of $877 billion, Amazon with a market cap of $866 billion, and then lastly, Microsoft with a market cap of $860 billion. So again, like I mentioned in my previous video, it's just a cool battle to see who's actually going to be on top. As in really nothing to do with us. It's kind of like PewDiePie and T-Series. Battle continues, so we'll just have to wait and see who will end up on top. Now, in our previous video, we talked about Steam lowering its revenue split compared to them taking their cut from all of the game sales, and how that actually affected a lot of the bigger companies to move into starting their own platforms like Uplay, Origin, and then Battle.net. Now it looks like Epic Games is opening up their own store for the other companies to sell their games, and with a much better revenue split. So on the Epic Games store, the game developers will get 88% of the revenue and Epic Games will only get 12%. That is much better compared to Steam, where the developers take around 70% and Steam takes around 30%. So this might cause a lot of smaller developers to move to the Epic Games store, and there might be a competition for Steam, but I do still believe the bigger companies like EA, Ubisoft, and then also Activision Blizzard will just stick with their current platforms because they've already built their community there, and there's no real need to split the revenue between a different company. They can just get everything by just selling it on their own stores. Now, that's pretty much it for our tech news video. I do hope you guys enjoyed it. Sorry if the audio and the camera was bad. Again, I don't really film outside. I'm not a nature boy anymore. But yeah, it was kind of a bit fun to be outside, and hopefully my power will go back on so I can actually edit this video. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. If you did enjoy this video, please like, share, subscribe, and comment like always. Also, if you want me to do more videos outside, let me know down there as well. And then I will check all of you guys next time. Cheers, guys.